Everyone knows it is annoying when she eats your food and could have asked for her own or said yes when you asked if she wanted anything. Where is the line between wasteful and annoying? Story 1. I've never experienced the second thing happening, but that would bother me more. I mean, I'd assume I could say, hold on, I can finish those. Story 2. I don't mind sharing. However, I would like transparency in a relationship. I expect you to communicate in a way that is clear and considerate, such as, thanks, but I'm not that hungry. Perhaps we can get large fries and share instead. I believe that the first option can frustrate others due to a lack of communication. Story 3. To me, it boils down to respect, plain and simple. If you reach across and help yourself to my fries without asking, it comes off as disrespectful, as if my meal is just an extension of yours. Tossing out food is even worse on the respect scale. It's like saying the effort I put into buying the meal and the value of the food itself mean nothing. If you're not that hungry, that's fine. Let's split a small portion or maybe pass on the fries altogether. But let's talk about it. Good communication goes a long way, and I'll gladly share a few of my fries if you ask. Please respect my plate and understand that we shouldn't waste food when there are plenty of people who aren't fortunate enough to have any. Story 4. I'm ordering food. Do you want anything? Not especially, but can I have some of your fries? I wasn't going to get fries, but sure, that's not a problem. Problem solved. Just be upfront with what you want ahead of time. It's only annoying if what you want is constantly changing and you don't communicate that with your partner. Story 5. It never bothers me if she isn't as hungry as she thought. I throw out food frequently because I'm full. I'm not going to gain weight just because I'm supposed to finish my plate. Story 6. I just ordered a large fries. My wife takes what she wants, normally just a few, and I eat the rest. After 46 years, it's no big deal. Story 7. This was honestly how I ended a relationship once. There were many other factors, but the last straw occurred when she begged me to stop and get her a hamburger and fries. I went and got her some food on the way home from work. When I got home, she took one bite of the burger, said she was done, and ate only a few fries. She ended up tossing it out afterward. She was just using me for impulsive, immature purchases, and it took one combo meal from a fast food restaurant for that reality to hit me hard. Story 8. Neither would bother me much. We're at the point where she picks food off my plate. In the second scenario, I am finishing the fries. Story 9. I don't mind sharing some of my fries, so I don't believe in throwing away food. However, most fast food meals don't fill me up, so I'd be happy to finish her fries. Story 10. Looking at these comments, I guess I am the outlier. If my daughter grabs a bit of my food, that is fine. She is hungry and needs to eat. Perhaps she wasn't that hungry, but the smell made her hungry. I do not care what her reason is. Honestly, I prefer it. It means she is comfortable enough with me to take my food. Also, if she ordered food and didn't eat all of it, so be it. I would appreciate it if she asked me if I wanted it, but I am not going to get upset over $10. Story 11. I am completely unbothered about whether fries are consumed. There are many more important things in this world. Story 12. I always save the crispiest ones for her because she loves them. I am a big guy, but I am a sharer by nature. Story 13. Nah, because small gestures like that earn me her cooking for at least a few weeks. The reward-to-cost ratio always works in my favor. Story 14. A couple that is concerned about how to properly share fries is unlikely to have a successful long-term relationship. Story 15. As long as she asks me if I want the fries before she dumps them, I would prefer option 2. Especially with finger food, I feel uncomfortable sharing with others because people often do not wash their hands properly. Story 16. I don't mind if she eats a couple of fries off my plate. That's a love language thing with many women. I do mind if she starts taking my food before I've even had a bite. If she throws out the fries after eating just a couple, I assume she didn't like them very much. If it keeps happening, I would probably suggest she just take a couple of mine instead of wasting money on a plate of fries that won't get eaten. Story 17. They both bother me, probably equally. First, I eat a lot. If I order a meal, I want to eat the whole thing. I never take leftover containers from a restaurant. If I knew you wanted some food, I would order an extra side for you so you're not taking my food. Or a shareable plate like an appetizer. But don't take my entree and sides. On the other hand, wastefulness bothers me. Similar to my previous point, I order what I want to eat and I eat what I order. The idea of ordering something and just not eating it frustrates me. Story 18. Where is the line between wasteful and annoying? Wasteful is annoying. However, if someone is going to be wasteful with something that belongs to me or that I paid for, especially when done so with callous disregard, that crosses into unacceptable territory. Story 19. How would you handle it? I would physically tackle her if she tried to throw food away. If she made it to the garbage can, I would retrieve it. Story 20. Having worked in the service industry and experienced homelessness, I hate wasting food. I have no issue sharing food, but I take issue when people waste it. The phenomenon of having eyes bigger than one's stomach is real and frustrating. Story 21. What really frustrates me is the assumption that my food is communal just because she isn't hungry enough to eat a meal of her own. I'm not that hungry, so I'll just have some of yours. Excuse me, but no, you won't. Story 22. You buy extra for yourself, expecting that she will take some. The reason is that women have a complicated relationship with food, as they face ridicule for being overweight. This affects their behavior in these situations. Story 23. Communication, understanding, and working toward an agreed path forward should be how partners resolve issues. Everyone has different experiences with food. Individuals who grew up with food insecurity may feel differently than those who had sufficient or excess food available to them. This is okay. Identify why you feel the way you do and have an open conversation with your partner about it. Ask how they feel about the interaction and try to understand their perspective. As partners, the goal should be to consider how both of you make each other feel. Conversations like these can help you gain a better understanding of your partner and bring you closer together. It is important to remember that no is a complete sentence, and expressing dislike for something should be a valid reason for it to stop for both parties. Open conversations can foster deeper understanding but should never be forced or used to violate boundaries. Story 24. Who is throwing away fries? I always just ask if he wants his own or if he wants to split. Usually, we just get our own unless the place has two sides that we want to share. If we go to In-N-Out, we only need half an order of fries each. Story 25. They are promoting a narrative that they are not heavy eaters. This claim is very common and is, in fact, an undeclared falsehood. Story 26. If I buy fries for her, those become her fries. I don't care what she does with them. If she does not want fries and then takes mine, she is taking my fries, which is not the same. Story 27. Once you raise kids, you get over this. My kids not only would not finish the food they received, but they would also eat part of my food. I used to order smaller meals for myself because I knew I would always be finishing theirs. If you have a partner who wants to eat part of your meal, just buy the large size instead of the medium if it's a big deal. Otherwise, it's just future practice. Story 28. I don't know about the fry stealing. If you can call that anything more than annoying, show me how. I don't care what she does with food allocated to her. That doesn't even rate as annoying. Story 29. As someone who often experienced hunger in early adulthood, the most upsetting thing for me is to waste good food. I don't care if you don't want to eat it right now and plan to eat it later. I don't believe in eating tiny amounts of food and throwing the rest away unless it's genuinely inedible. In a situation like that, even though I don't enjoy sharing food, I would prefer that she take a few items from me rather than get her own and simply discard them. Story 30. Those are both okay. What's annoying? Him. Do you want anything? Her. No, I'm not hungry. She then proceeds to eat half of his fries. Story 31. Throwing away the food I bought for her would bother me. Usually, the issue is that she doesn't just eat a couple of fries but a significant portion or even all of it. Story 32. Better I order fries. She eats 3 and throws the rest in her personal food bin. I get more food, and she doesn't steal from me. It's a win-win. In general, I don't like people touching my food. If it's to try something you've never eaten before, then it's fine if you ask, of course. But otherwise, my food is mine, and your leftovers are mine. Story 33. I already account for her eating some of my fries when we eat out. But what bothers me most is when she says she is very hungry and then leaves half of her food to waste. Story 34. I was raised in a family where it was unacceptable to waste food. You ate what was on your plate. At a restaurant, you always took leftovers home for your next meal. I would be very offended if someone ordered food and didn't eat it. I don't mind sharing fries. When going out, I usually ask what others are getting as a side so I can order something different and then we can each share. Story 35. If the ones I bought her get thrown out, I will not be purchasing any more after that one time. I am still not touching mine. Please get your own food. Story 36. What bothers me is when she orders a large coffee and only drinks a small amount of it. It happens every time. Story 37. This doesn't have anything to do with my girlfriend, but the first day I met my sister-in-law, we all went out to dinner. I ordered something with fries, and she was sitting across from me and decided to reach over and take some from my plate. I have never been more upset. We have a great relationship now, but that made me so mad. I still hold it against her to this day, and that was about 11 years ago. Story 38. It depends on the food. It's more annoying if it's dessert and we've gone through the I don't do desserts routine, and then a fork or spoon appears. It annoys me even more when I order a cheese board at the end of a meal, and, within seconds, any grapes or soft fruits on the board have vanished. Everything else we share. Story 39. Appreciation for both food and feelings is key. While the occasional stolen fry from my plate is almost a rite of passage in the relationship playbook, the idea of tossing out good food is where I draw the line. It's not just about the monetary cost, though that's a factor. There's something inherently jarring about the disregard for the effort that went into preparing the meal. It's the principle. Say you're full, offer it my way, or let's package it up for later. There's a dialogue to be had in these little exchanges. A moment of connection where we acknowledge that even the smallest decisions about food matter. Sure, it's just fries today, but it sets the tone for bigger things down the road. Let's treat each meal with the thoughtfulness it and we deserve. Story 40. Not necessarily my girlfriend, but my girlfriend's daughter will order food and then throw away 70% of it. I have talked to her about it more than once, and it does annoy me. I grew up in a household where if you put food on your plate, you had better eat all of it or face consequences. Similarly, don't order food at a restaurant unless you plan to eat it all. If I had a girlfriend who did this, she would be eliminated from the dating process early. Story 41. Definitely the second one. I don't have a significant other, but anyone throwing away perfectly good food always irritates me. Story 42. She loves potatoes almost as much as I do, or possibly even more. She would never throw out fries. I also don't mind sharing my fries because I could do with eating less greasy food. Hypothetically, I would definitely be more annoyed by her throwing them out because that would be a waste of perfectly good food. Story 43. Wasting food bothers me more. That said, I don't mind sharing, just be honest about it. I'll get large fries instead of small or whatever, it's not a big deal. Story 44. I used to have a zero-tolerance policy for this. It wasn't cute. It wasn't okay. Stay out of my plate or risk losing a finger. I grew up as the oldest of 5 kids, and we were hungry. I eat defensively, fast, and with a purpose. Story 45. I would prefer if she ate one of her own fries and the rest were discarded rather than starting to take my food. Honestly, I end up eating whatever she doesn't anyway. I'm not sure if it's because I was raised with 2 brothers or attended a high school located near a fast food restaurant, where my fries were constantly at risk from my friends, but when someone reaches into my eating area, it does not sit well with me, and I find it very frustrating. Please get your own food. Story 46. I would prefer if she asked to get some extra fries to share. I can order a small portion to share or adjust my own order to accommodate that. Knowing she likely won't finish her fries, I might even change my order to onion rings. If she told me she wanted fries and made no indication of sharing, then discarded them without asking, it would annoy me. If she wanted a few of mine, that would be acceptable. However, if she wanted half of mine, I would feel annoyed again. Story 47. I have no problem sharing food. I would much rather she eat some of my fries than waste money. You don't need to eat them all yourself. Story 48. The latter never happened to me before. I was raised with sisters, so them taking food from me is not uncommon. Story 49. I never steal food from my partner, but I admit that sometimes I can't eat as much as I ordered or the portions are just too big for me. My partners, both ex and current, have always been the type to finish my food without me even having to ask. Big boys tend to eat a lot. Story 50. My girlfriend doesn't eat my food like that, but I'm happy to share with her anyway. It has never been a problem for us, thankfully. Story 51. I'm never going to worry about a couple of chips being taken. Usually, it's a plateful and one or two aren't going to be an issue. A couple of slices of pizza, though, especially if I've ordered the right serving size, is going to be annoying. I'll miss those 2 slices. Generally, any girlfriend or friend is in charge of what they order. We're all adults. I'm not going to monitor it, nor am I going to expect someone to continue eating beyond their level of comfort. There's no situation where I wouldn't take from their plate if they're done and I would like a bit extra, so it's not an issue. Story 52. I set food boundaries from the beginning, and I am still single because of it. I do not play that game or eat off my plate. It is a boundary I am not willing to compromise on at my age. Story 53. It only bothers me if I buy them and she doesn't ask if I want any before throwing them away. I understand that people want to save money and not waste food, but fries aren't healthy and don't taste good if they aren't fresh. Just throw those uneaten fries in the trash and eat something healthier after satisfying the craving, unless you're on a tight budget. Story 54. I clarify my intentions when ordering. Usually, I am happy to share. If I am exceptionally hungry, I explain that they are welcome to taste, but what I am ordering isn't for sharing. If you want something, get it, because after the first bite, I will redirect your hand away from my food. People might think you are inconsiderate the first time, but if you are consistent and true to your word, they will eventually understand. If a partner doesn't listen to simple things that you make explicitly clear to them, complicated subjects will be impossible to navigate, and they are not right for you. Establish clear boundaries and resolve these issues earlier rather than later. Story 55. I have no problem sharing food. However, if there are strange mind games involved, they can be quite annoying. Story 56. Just share your food. If you get upset about losing a few fries, it has nothing to do with being hungry. Story 57. I order the food I want. If someone asks me to buy them some and they hardly eat it, I would find that preferable to being hungry after the meal. You do what works for you. Story 58. Honestly, I've been through so much that this isn't even on the radar. Before I faced my challenges, this would have slightly annoyed me for maybe 2 minutes. She doesn't finish junk food? I'm okay with her not gaining weight. If she wants a bite of mine, that's fine. I've been sharing since I was about 4 years old. Story 59. It annoys me when she leaves some food and doesn't tell me, so now the fries are cold. I still eat them, though. Story 60. I think my boyfriend would be more annoyed by the second option. We are both very health conscious, so I believe he would prefer that we share fries instead of ordering our own, and I would prefer that as well. Story 61. I haven't had a girlfriend in a long time, so my opinion only holds so much weight. I wouldn't mind if she ate some of my fries. In fact, I would probably buy a large order instead of the regular medium size I usually get, specifically with her taking some fries in mind, and I would find it cute. What would annoy me, however, is if she asked for her own fries only to eat a few, like 3 to 5, and throw the rest away because that's just money wasted. Story 62. I don't find it annoying to share. I don't need all of my food if it's not meal prepped and calories accounted for. It's meant to be enjoyed, and I enjoy sharing it. Wasting food is frustrating, but she only does it when she truly dislikes it and doesn't need to consume the calories, which is more acceptable. Buying prepared food and enjoying it is a luxury, after all. As long as you get what you want from it, then live your life, in my opinion. Story 63. Most bothered when she says she doesn't want any and then takes them from my plate. I would rather buy her own fries. I know how hungry I am and how much I need to eat to feel full. Be honest about what you want to eat. Story 64. No, because it makes her happy and I won't starve with too fewer fries. In fact, I see it as a dieting tactic. Story 65. I always buy one for myself and my partner. Whatever she doesn't eat, I get to enjoy. Story 66. There are two things in this world I refuse to share: food and women. When she says she doesn't want anything, I buy something anyway. Story 67. Both are not. It's in their DNA as much as ordering a change to what's actually on the menu or finding a better place for both of you to sit if you arrive first. It's the nature of the situation. Story 68. The second worst is when I ask if she is hungry, and she says no, but then proceeds to eat most of my burger and fries. The worst is when I pull into a second drive-thru because I'm hungry too, and she asks, "Are you eating again?" Story 69. Yes, it does a lot. I really like food, but usually I just make her feel bad and say something like a poor kid could have eaten it. Story 70. Just eat some of my fries. Try to pretend you're being sneaky about it, and I'll pretend I don't see. It's really cute for reasons I don't understand. Story 71. I do not have a girlfriend and never have, and I probably never will. However, if I did, I do not think I would tolerate that behavior. Story 72. Does it bother you more when your girlfriend eats a few of your fries, or when she asks for fries, you buy some for her, then she eats a few and just throws the rest away? Story 73. We live in a time of abundance where we can waste food and have no reason to hoard it. If I care so much about that particular plate, I say, get your own. If I don't care that much about it, I say, help yourself. Story 74. No, I know my girlfriend well enough to buy my fries in a large size for that reason. If she doesn't want more than a couple, I eat the rest. If she wants more than half, she can have them. I don't care. Story 75. Personally, I can't eat much due to surgery, so I avoid getting a lot of food for myself. Even when I order a small fry, I can't finish it. I always give them to my friends or my boyfriend, or I ask them before they order, is it okay if I have a few? They usually don't mind because they know I can't eat much anyway. Story 76. Her saying, I'll just have a bite of yours, and not ordering anything for herself used to annoy me. I realize that she eats very little compared to me and is trying to be considerate of my expenses. But I ordered what I wanted and offered to pay for what she wanted. It took me a while to understand her thoughtful intent and appreciate it as well. I finally concluded that, to please us both, I needed to order more food than I really wanted. We both got to eat all we wanted, and she didn't feel like a financial burden. Leftovers went with me to eat at work the next day. That is the girl I chose to be my wife, and we've now been married for 35 years. Story 77. I need context for the first. Did she say she didn't want fries and then help herself? That would upset me more. I don't like sharing my food. I will gladly buy you as much as you want to eat, but please don't sit here and munch on my food. I don't mind if you take a few fries, but rarely is it just a few. Story 78. I don't mind sharing fries or a bite of my food. I enjoy buffet-style dinners with a little bit of everything, allowing us to try different dishes. Story 79. I honestly don't care. If she wants her own, fine. If she wants some of mine, that's fine too, but only a little. You aren't grabbing a fistful and smirking unless you want to fight. Story 80. Since you cannot buy just a few fries, does it really matter how many are eaten? It is perfectly fine not to eat them all, especially for women who face significant societal pressure to be thin. Without that pressure, I imagine they would enjoy all the fries, as they are truly delicious. Story 81. Speaking on behalf of most women, she is going to be eating your fries, olives, and scampi for the rest of the relationship. You better learn to live with it. The second issue sounds really problematic, not just because it involves wasting food, but also due to the entire attitude. Story 82. This can make most people angry. It's okay if she ate mine. Wasting food is not tolerated since each penny is hard-earned. There are many people around us who are starving, and none should waste food. Story 83. When I was broke, I would order food for just my wife and say I wasn't hungry, then I would finish it. However, this was so efficient that I continued doing it, but now I get bigger meals for us to share. There is no waste, and I don't overeat, which I always used to do to avoid wastage. Story 84. Married for 6 years and a father of 2. If she is being wasteful, I would let her know, but that has never happened. It does not bother me if she decides to eat some or all of my food. I will simply place another order and either take her order home or eat her food instead, depending on the day. More often than not, we get 2 different items we both enjoy and then share them. It's the best of both worlds. Story 85. Or if you know she's the one, let her eat your fries. Then you can buy extra if she is going to finish them. If she doesn't finish, you can finish them. My wife thinks I don't really like fries because I have been letting her eat mine for the past 13 years. Story 86. This is oddly specific about fries, so I guess your question is, what are some things your girlfriend does that annoy you? A big one for me was when I went out to eat something I was really craving. My partner said she didn't want anything and then ate half of my food off my plate like a child. Story 87. I'm married, and long ago I accepted the fact that whatever I order, my wife will like it more and eat most of it. We have a standing arrangement where she gets to eat my food and pretends that she didn't, and I get to be her husband. It's a win-win. Story 88. Sometimes a girl tests a guy to see whether he shares with her. However, if she does not ask for the food but just takes it, then it is disrespectful and it is essential to put a stop to it. Story 89. I have never understood why anyone is bothered by that. You are not going to starve because you had 20 fries instead of 30, Bob. Story 90. If that kind of thing bothers you, then you will never be able to keep a girl. They steal your food as a display of dominance. It has nothing to do with being hungry. Story 91. Wasting food is the worst. Taking without asking is not nice. Manners are important. Asking politely is acceptable. Nothing bad will happen if you ask for some fries. Being polite is appreciated. Story 92. First, keep your hands off my food. If you want something, order it and finish it. If not, you are restricted to the kids' menu. Story 93. This is how it works. You ask her if she wants fries. If she says no, it means she will eat half of your fries. If she says yes, it means she will throw most of them out. This concept is about not worrying over minor issues. Story 94. I dislike giving away my food, so I would rather she get her own order. If she doesn't eat, then she can give me the leftovers, no wasted food. Story 95. I don't care about either situation, but if she says she doesn't want anything and then takes my things, we have a problem. Story 96. Why is she throwing away her food without asking if I want it? I bought it for her. That's annoying and wasteful. Story 97. Order your own fries. If you want to throw them out, that's on you. Or, consider ordering something that comes with chips so you don't go an entire meal without them. I never ask for food off other people's plates, yet I often feel required to share half my meal with someone else because they want just a couple of fries. I think the equivalent would be me using a little bit of my wife's expensive moisturizer because I don't use it often enough to buy my own. She gets very upset if she catches me because that's her favorite. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.